and enjoy the action. Second commentary of the day here on Sportsline. Rangers against Real Betis in the group stage of the Europa League with Stephen Thompson, Lee McCullough and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks once again, Kenny. As you say, the atmosphere is quite electric. It may not be the Champions League, but Rangers have shown just how special Europa League nights can be here at Ibrox. 491 days since the heartbreak of the penalty shootout defeat by Eintracht Frankfurt. A new league campaign begins with a tough group opener against the second seeds from Sevilla, where of course that final took place. Real Betis ran away with their group last season but faltered in the last 16, a stage they've never gone beyond. It's the first ever meeting between the sides as Rangers seek to end an incredible 15-game run without a win over Spanish opposition. A sequence that extends back to 1985, would you believe, and a UEFA Cup tie against Osasuna. A packed Ibrox, a vocal Ibrox, hoping to witness another special occasion as the teams go through the handshakes with the Belgian officials after each other as well, and it will be the team photos before we get underway. There's also going to be a moment's silence here before kick-off. We'll come to that just shortly as the teams get their pictures taken down pitch side. It really is quite a stage as the Rangers fans get right behind their side, hoping to kick off the Europa League campaign in some style. And the two sets of players now limbering up as the captains exchange pennants in the middle of the park. It's James Tavernier, of course, of Rangers, and Germán Petzela, World Cup winner with Argentina. He will wear the armband for Real Betis this evening as they come to Ibrox for the first time. They were in Glasgow a couple of years back, across the city, where they were beaten by Celtic by 3-2 after a 4-3 win in Seville itself. And now we are done with the pre-match pleasantries. We will get to the moment's silence, which will see Ibrox remember one of its favourite sons, Ronnie McKinnon, who made 500 appearances for Rangers over 12 years, winning 9 major honours, and who passed away recently at the age of 83. And the silence will also remember those who lost their lives in recent tragedies in Morocco and Libya. Ronnie McKinnon fondly remembered, having passed away, as I say, at the age of 83 in the last week. A Hall of Fame member at Ibrox. The boos are for Real Betis to go into a Celtic-style huddle in their green and white stripes as opposed to hoops. It'll be Rangers in their traditional blue tops, white shorts and black and red socks. Betis with the green and white stripes, green shorts and white socks. Rangers going from right to left. It will be Betis to kick us off, as a capacity Ibrox is expectant and hopeful that the early season patchy form can be cast aside and a triumphant start to the Europa League campaign can take place this evening. We're underway. The Belgian referee Laurens Visser gets us going, and Betis have possession on the left-hand side. In these early stages, it's Abner, the Brazilian left-back, playing it forward to Abde, and then Isco takes over. Abdi continues his run down the left-hand side. It's gone out of play, and it will be a Rangers throw-in.
You can tell right away, Alistair, the shape of the side. Roof's playing up front, Matondo on the left. Lawrence just in behind in number 10 position, and Sima out to the right-hand side.
Well spotted, Stephen. It was a matter of much debate pre-match. Here's Davies, clears down the left-hand side. And Matondo beaten to it, out of play for a Rangers throw-in. Lee, you played on many evenings like this at Ibrox. What is it like to just walk out and start with that atmosphere behind you?
It's obviously an amazing feeling, and tonight's atmosphere is amazing. It's bouncing, but you need to give the fans something to go with you with. You need to start the game very well. You need to win your tackles, win your headers, and get the ball down and play. And it's been, I know we're only a minute into the game, but it looks as if Rangers are going front foot in the press, and they've got pace in the wider areas.
Here's Roof inside the penalty area, but been pulled back for a previous free kick midway inside the Betis half, and that's a let-off for the visitors because Roof was in a good position inside the penalty area had that been allowed to flow.
Yeah, it certainly broke to Kemar Roof, who was one-on-one into the penalty box. It didn't seem like an awful lot in the challenge. I think it was Sima had come over into the back of the Betis defender. Referee blew fairly quickly.
Claudio Bravo takes the free kick. It's cut out by Tavernier and picked up by Sima, who played well against St Johnstone when he came on for Danilo. It's Betis still coming forward. Iglesias trying to give Davies some problems, but he works it back to Jack Button. I wanted to ask you about Claudio Bravo. He's playing his first game of the season, having just recovered from injury. He was touch and go for this game. Surely if you're Rangers, you want to be peppering him with shots and crosses in these early stages.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the same for any player that's been out for any period of time, but I mean, it's not as if he's not been in this situation before. He's a very vastly experienced goalkeeper, so he'll use that.
There's Betis making inroads, and Cifuentes takes the safe option by just knocking behind. It's the first corner kick of the night, and it goes the way of Real Betis, and just a little flavour there of their link-up play with Isco at the heart of it on the right-hand side of the Rangers penalty area, and they've won themselves a corner kick.
Good one-touch play there, Al. Very good one-touch play, great understanding. Just shows you Rangers are going to need to be like full concentration.
Isco's corner's a low one, dealt with by Roof at the near post, comes back out to Isco on the right hand side. We'll try and send that back. It's a good ball in, just missed by a couple of Betis players trying to attack it inside the 6-yard box, and it goes all the way out to the far side for a Rangers throw-in, but early indications that Isco is up for this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sensational cross. He put it into an unbelievable area right in the middle of the 6-yard box, and Bartra was only inches away from it. Two of them throwing themselves fully to get to the ball, just probably about half a foot too high. Yeah, you're right, a good indication for Rangers that it's going to be dangerous from wide areas, especially if Isco gets on this ball.
Well, he comes with a terrific CV, doesn't he? 5 Champions Leagues, as I mentioned, in his time at Real Madrid. 350 plus appearances, 3 La Liga titles. He's won it all there, but he's been out of sorts in the last 12 months, and that's a terrific ball from Matondo from Roof. Matondo's through on goal. Can he take the shot? He can. Bravo saves, and at the second time of asking, he grasps it. Matondo really telegraphed the effort right into the midriff of Bravo, but what an opening and what a ball from Kemar Roof. Big chance for Matondo.
It was sensational for Kemar Roof. Matondo using his pace, ended up getting away from the defender, 1-on-1. He's hit the shot for probably 18-20 yards out. He's got to do better. 1-on-1 a night like this.
So. I mean, the pass through is unbelievable, as Lee says, but with his pace, I actually felt as though he could have taken another couple of strides before he had the shot. And you're right, he telegraphed it. He opened up his body so early that everybody in the stadium could see he was going to try and curl it to the keeper's left-hand side. The keeper was virtually down before he hit it, and actually the connection he makes with it is really poor. He kind of sclaffs it. What an opportunity. It just shows you the danger you've got with Matondo. If you can get him in behind defences, he'll cause him all sorts of problems with his pace, but he should have scored.
He found himself in a very similar position to the one he scored from at McDermott Park, but this is a different kind of occasion altogether, and this time he fluffed his lines in front of goal, and Rabi Matondo, who scored that terrific goal coming on against PSV here to put Rangers 2-1 up. couldn't put them ahead in the opening 5 minutes here, and the chance is gone. But certainly signs that this team can be got at the back. That was my sense from watching them and reading up about them in the last week or so, that they are certainly a threat going forward, but potentially weak at the back. A bit of a mirror image of Rangers almost.
Yeah, you could say that. Obviously they lost 5 goals at the weekend. Pellegrini's made 6 changes, so he clearly wasn't happy with the weekend's performance, and maybe a bit of a disjointed side. Maybe much like Rangers, they have yet to find a fluent side, a side that they can depend upon on a weekly basis. But yeah, they will cause Rangers problems going forward. But if Rangers can get Matondo and Sima and the other side in behind this defence, then they'll cause them problems.
There's Abner picking up and coming forward from the left back position. Sima trying to work back with him. Betis have it, middle of the park, back with Bartra, and then square for the captain, Petseya. And back with Bartra, vastly experienced defender who we mainly know, I guess, from his time with Barcelona. Down the left-hand side it goes. Abde will try and keep that in, doesn't quite manage it, and it will be a goal kick to Rangers.
I'm just watching Isco as Betis build the play up. His movement is brilliant. He's getting in behind Cifuentes and Lundstrom. He's getting out their eye line. He's dropping short. He's turning. He's making things happen 1 and 2 touch. He's obviously their danger player. So I think one of the two, whether it's Lundstrom or Cifuentes, need to get a grip of him out of possession.
It's Tavernier forward for Sima. Sima and Cifuentes getting in a muddle, and Betis have it back in the middle of the park. The ball played forward by Roca, but Rangers win it back. Cifuentes finds Barisic. He asks for the runners to go long there.
Yeah, I don't know why Matondo wants to come to the ball. I mean, if you've got that pace and you've already had that early opportunity, don't come to the ball. At least show short and then spin in behind. You should be looking in behind every single time Barisic gets on the ball.
Seaman battling away over on the far side. The ball's gone out. It's a Real Betis throw-in, much to the dismay of the fans.
So
over on that far
side.
Sorry,
I was so frustrating that Tomo with Matondo. He's wanting to come to feet. He's got 60 yards of space behind him. Just come, wait till your man's tight to you and spin and use your pace. It's as simple as that.
And it's not as if when he does come to the ball, he's particularly good at getting turned with it. He's not that skillful a player. He's better with the game in front of him.
Surely he's been told by his manager that he's to do exactly what you two are saying and not come short. Here come Rangers down the right hand side. Sima can't quite get onto it. Barca gets the header and Abner completes the clearance. Cifuentes picks up on the right hand side for Rangers, slides it forward, flicked on by Lawrence. Tavernier can't collect, and Barca will come away and just loft it forward. Davies gets the header there in front of Borja Iglesias. Cifuentes brings it down, leaves it back to Davies midway inside his own half, and now it's Barisic. Barisic looks down the left for Matondo this time. Bellerin keeps his eye on it, heads it down, and Betis get the break of the ball, but it comes off a Betis player last, actually out for a throw-in down in front of Manuel Pellegrini, the vastly experienced Chilean coach, known as the engineer in Spain. And he certainly engineered a few famous victories over the years, not least when he took Villarreal for the first time of asking to the Champions League semi-final, beating Rangers en route in the last 16. Bellerin will have the throw-in for Betis, just in front of his coach's dugout, a few yards inside his own half. Right hand side, 9 minutes in, no goals, but Rangers passing up the best opportunity. Matondo shooting straight at Claudio Bravo. Lundstrom's gone into the back of Isco there, and it's going to be a free kick to Real Betis midway inside the Rangers half, and that was Lundstrom doing what Lee McCulloch wants him to do, getting close to Isco, but too close on that occasion.
Yeah, far too close. You've got to get close, but he was also the wrong side of him, which doesn't help.
That's out off Matondo. It's going to be a throw-in on this near side to Real Betis. Open game so far. No one really taking the upper hand, but certainly Betis look like a team who are very comfortable on the ball, as you would tend to expect from aside from La Liga. Here's Isco, who is the most comfortable, you'd have to say, but Betis have given away a free kick, noticed by the assistant referee in this near side, and Rangers will have the dead ball situation just outside their own penalty area, 0-0 with 10 on the clock. Lundstrom plays it square for Goldson. Goldson opens the legs and comes forward and then tries to play the ball forward. It's a poor pass and it's easily cut out there by Roca in the midfield. Out to Abdi it goes, left hand side, looking to take on Cifuentes. He's done him for pace. Into the penalty area he comes. He hits the deck rather easily and the referee waves him to his feet, but it's just a warning there that he's got a good bit of pace and he was all too easily past Cifuentes there.
That was blistering pace there, especially away from Cifuentes, but I think there was a bit of a dive there. I think the referee's done tremendous there.
Yeah, it's good to see the referee spotting that. You know, he's not going to put up with that. He didn't need to throw himself to the ground. It was a good position, but you're right, that turn of pace over 3 or 4 yards there was incredible.
It's turned back to Bravo, and it's a slice by the Chilean veteran, out for a throw-in over on the far side as he was put under pressure with the back pass, and the referee's just asking for the throw-in to be delayed as he has a word with a couple of Betis players.
He did not look comfortable on his left-hand side here. Bravo looked more like Johnny Bravo there.
Rangers have the throw-in taken into Lawrence, back to Tavernier. Tavernier about 25 yards from goal. He's under big pressure and he's lost it, but Lundstrom digs him out. Isco battling away for possession and Betis have it back on the left-hand side. It's Iglesias, foul there. It's a pretty clumsy challenge by Tavernier, who pleads his innocence. There will be a free kick on the halfway line. Iglesias goes down holding his face. The Rangers fans don't like it. Tavernier shakes his head.
I think there he just tried to block him.
It's embarrassing, isn't it?
His hand is on his chest and he's went down holding his face. Obviously a big bit of play acting there, not nice to see.
Free kick taken, Barisic heads out of play on this near side. Real Betis throw in. They played 12 minutes, no goals, one big chance for Rabi Matondo, which he hit straight at the keeper. Otherwise it's been pretty even. Here's Luis Enrique though, gets it back to the edge of the penalty area. Chance might come here for Abner, cuts it into the 6-yard box, away by Barisic, helped on by Tavernier, and then Sima back doing some defending, tries to play it up to Roof. Betis knock it out of play over on the far side. You do always feel as soon as Betis are coming forward they're going to be a threat, and the Rangers backline don't look entirely comfortable.
Well, in wide areas especially, we've seen it on one side with Abda, but in that time it was Luis Enrique, showed a great turn of pace, skipped away from John Lundstrom, hung up a great ball with just no takers in the middle of the box, but certainly wide areas is going to be an issue for Rangers. Yeah,
here's Luis Enrique after Matondo had given the ball away with a poor first touch. Michael Beale trying to urge his team to come out. They're sitting very deep at the edge of their penalty area just at the moment as Bartra picks up and comes forward. Plays it short to Isco, who's always offering himself. He tries to clip one over for Abner, who managed to keep that in right on the goal line, gets the ball in at the near post. Goldson clears, Isco will go and collect over on the far side and then plays the reverse pass forward for Abdi. Abdi infield for Isco once more, clips it to the back post, just couldn't quite find Luis Enrique. Barisic heads away, but then Matondo with a terrible header gives possession straight back to Betis. It's Bellerin on the right hand side, Matondo trying to atone, but he's still got it as Bellerin, the right full back, and then played forward by Rodriguez. Into the penalty area comes Goldson, rather miscues, the clearance is behind for a corner. He scored that awful lone goal against PSV and he wasn't a million miles away from scoring another there. Corner kick Betis.
Defensively a bit shaky there for me, Al. I think Matondo looks short of confidence already. It's as if the crowd are getting on his back. There's a couple of bad touches, he's missed that 1v1, but for the last minute and a half there, Isco was a masterclass.
Here he is with the corner kick from the right hand side, and it comes, it's headed away by Lundstrom to the edge of the box, picked up by Abner, left hand side. Abdi now closed down by Cifuentes on the left hand side, then challenged well by Lawrence, who hasn't been able to get into the game so far himself. He makes a good challenge, it's out for a throw-in on the far side, almost quarter of an hour in. Rangers nil, Real Betis nil.
Yeah, Lee's right. The spell of play that led up to that corner kick, Isco was on the ball about 5 times, just popping it here, there and everywhere. His vision, his passes, reverse passes, it's just class. You cannot give him space and time at all.
He was out of sorts last season at Sevilla, only played half a season before he fell out with the sporting director there, Monchi, and ended up leaving. Didn't play after November, but he's really refound his mojo under Manuel Pellegrini, with whom he really started his career at Malaga. And he's playing really well so far this evening. Roof has just caught Bartra accidentally, I think, as he chased the long ball. It's going to be a free kick to Real Betis. Roof just checking that the Spanish defender is okay, just clicked his heels.
Butland has just tried to send him away early there, and he's accidentally clipped his heels. There's absolutely nothing in it. I don't know. Yeah, he's getting up. He's getting up, no problem. No problems there. They're just trying a quick counter-attack. There it's Bartra.
He's struggling a bit actually, Bartra.
Maybe get back down.
Just think he might have caught his ankle slightly there, Roof, with the studs as he raced through, trying to get onto that long ball from Jack Butland. Bartra, who played his first game of the season at the weekend in that 5-0 rout by Barcelona. Free kicks taken, Abdi goes down, the aerial challenge there with Davies, and the referee's going to stop play. It's a head knock here, and the Rangers fans don't like this. Abdi rubbing the back of his head, and the physio will come on and check that the Moroccan winger is okay. Let's just another look at it here as he goes up with Davies. And yeah, there is a knock of heads together.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing in it. It's two people challenging for the ball. There's no arms, no elbows. Basically, Abdi just flicks it on and catches a bit of Davies' forehead as he flicks it. Certainly no foul in there.
So still goalless then after 16.5 minutes. Is Abdi getting a bit of treatment there after making his debut against Barca as a half-time substitute at the weekend, having signed from Barcelona themselves over the course of the summer. But Betis have had financial problems, and although they laid out €7.5 million on him, that's by far their biggest outlay of the summer, and that was only to buy 50% of his rights, actually, Barcelona retaining the other 50%. But he's clearly a player who both sides have big hopes for, and he'll have to go off after receiving treatment there just for a moment, as Rangers will pick up the drop ball. As Tom said, no free kick given, and Davies will collect possession, and Abdi's waved back on, and Rangers have it. 17 minutes in, no goals, one big chance for Matondo, who will try to be played in here again by Davies, but Bellerin is wise to that, takes it down and then plays the pass off to Roca. Roca back to Bartra up towards the halfway line. Luis Enrique challenges with Lundstrom, and then there's an offside gone up against Isco, who was in his own half by the time he played the ball, but not when the ball was played forward, and so it'll be a free kick to Rangers just inside their own half, taken by Davies to Lundstrom. Lundstrom quickly closed down, plays it to Cifuentes, back to Lundstrom. I think he was actually intending that for Davies, but Lundstrom was in the way, and now Betis have won it back. A couple of clumsy touches again from Rangers, who don't look quite as assured on the ball as the Spanish outfit do. And here's Isco coming deep now to try and orchestrate things from inside his own half. Bellerin clips it forward, looking for the run of Luis Enrique. Barisic just keeps an eye on him and sees the ball through to Jack Butland. 18 in, Rangers nil, Real Betis nil.
Yeah, it's just breaking down a wee bit too easily for Rangers when they are in possession of the ball. They're not managing to keep it for any great spells, not working it through the thirds. They've had that one opportunity, the kind of sucker punch ball over the top from Matondo, but out with that, they've really struggled to move up the pitch. And in doing so, they're dropping a wee touch deeper and allowing Betis more time and space on the ball.
A goal to tell you about in the group. It's come in Prague, but it's come from Aris Limassol. Sparta Prague nil, Aris Limassol 1. Bit of a surprise scoreline in that game. Still 0-0 here as Betis get the throw in, as Bellerin takes it, headed out of play again by Cifuentes, just about 10 yards inside the Rangers half. Bellerin looks to steal a few yards and is allowed to do so into Iglesias. Back for Bellerin. Bellerin plays it square to Bartra, just inside his own half, and then out to the left-hand side for Abner. Abner slides it down the line for Abdi. Back into Abner, just outside the Rangers penalty in the left-hand side. Abdi once more, now into the penalty area he goes. Goldson slides in and slides it off Abdi, and behind for a Rangers goal kick. A good challenge from the Rangers centre-back, and it remains goalless after almost 20 minutes. Lee McCullough.
Great defending for Conor Goldson there. That's Tavernier, but done a couple of times with the pace. Abdi, he's absolutely lightning quick, and Conor Goldson's realised that he's got to go over and cover him. and behind.
Did you feel as though he could have hit the cross first time when he was laid in? He wants to take the extra touch and get to the byline. I felt as though Abdi could have just flashed that across the face. But he's got that much pace, he just wants to run and open up his legs. And you're right, Conor Golson does really well to spot the danger.
Barisic forward for Matondo again. Bellerin's reading that ball forward, isn't he? He knows that Barisic is going to try and lift it over his head, and he's just given himself a few yards. And it has to be said that Hector Bellerin, certainly in his Arsenal days, and I've no doubt still, was pretty electric.
Oh, he was lightning
when it comes to a foot race himself, so he'll fancy his chances against Matondo, who's got the better of him just once, but he couldn't get the better of Claudio Bravo. Betis battling away to keep possession in the midfield, back with Bellerin, and all the way back to the 40-year-old Claudio Bravo, playing his first game of the season. Looked like he might leave actually in the summer, but he signed a new contract. Don't think it went down particularly well with Rui Silva, who felt that he should be the out-and-out number one. Here's Borja Iglesias, finds Abdi, left-hand side of the penalty area, goes for goal. Butland hasn't gathered it completely. Barisic has to scramble it away on his right foot. He manages to do so. That wasn't entirely convincing from Butland, who's been so assured in his Rangers career so far, but he did manage to keep it out, and it's still 0-0. Betis have it back though on the left-hand side. We'll get the guys' thoughts of that move in just a moment as Betis come forward once more, and it's Isco again picking up possession out to the left-hand side to the dangerous Abdi. Isco again, back it goes to Abner in the left-back position, forwards now for Iglesias with his back to goal, trying to hold off Davies, but there's a free kick being given against Iglesias. Not sure if that was for a shove or a bit of jersey pulling, but in any case, let's go back to the Abdi chance, because that was a good opening, but Butland almost playing his side into trouble.
Tremendous again for Abdi. He's onside. He's been played in, beautifully weighted pass. He's tried to open his body up and hit the far corner, and Butland just spilled it a little bit, so there's a little bit of panic. I think 21 minutes into the game, we've got Isco as a danger, and certainly Abdi with his pace.
Yeah, Butland was lucky there was nobody just following that, and you know, there was only one open, there'll be chances.
Here's Matondo, if he can get away from Pizzeya inside the penalty area, will allow Pizzeya the opportunity to get back there and knock it behind for a corner. Look just for a moment as Matondo might capitalise. It will be a Rangers corner. There's a jersey pull there.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if VAR has a look at that, because that is a very obvious jersey pull. And with VAR on duty, of course, in the Europa League,
this could go Rangers' way. I don't know whether Matondo had a wee touch of his jersey a second before he grabbed Matondo's, but that is very clear to me. Whether the referee or the VAR people think it was 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. Surprised if there's no check.
Well, it will be checked. It's just whether it's a significant check or otherwise. 1-1 in Prague, incidentally, as the play is waved on here, and Tavernier takes the corner shot to Matondo, then Tavernier plays it back to Lawrence, edge of the box, can get the shot away, he tries to poke it through, but at the edge of the box is Iglesias cutting it out, and that Rangers corner comes to nothing. It's played up to the centre circle. Tavernier gets it back, now it's Cifuentes. Rangers fans, I think, wanted that corner to go into the middle, but here come Rangers again. It's Sima right hand side, chance for him to show what he can do. The answer is not much on that occasion, just runs into a couple of Betis bodies, and they'll come forward in the counter, and it's Abdi leading that, lays it back to Isco. Isco dances away from a couple of challenges, sliding in went Lawrence. Free kick to Betis, and Isco again just gliding away from challenges. The free kick's quickly taken out to this near side. Luis Enrique was the target, but Barisic got there. Bellerin fouling Matondo. Yeah, a little bit lucky because Matondo had slipped, but it was a foul by Bellerin. We've played 24 minutes here at Ibrox. It's Rangers 0, Real Betis 0.
Again, the moment that led to the sharp pull in the box was from another kind of longer ball. They seem to be missing out. Tom Lawrence has not been really involved in the ball in the game at all as the number 10. I can't think of him being on the ball facing the Betis goal hardly at all. Seamer struggling on the right hand side to make any real impact. It's on this left hand side with Matondo either running from out to in for balls over the top. It's been Rangers' virtual only threat as they build the play. But I'm just so surprised that they didn't flag for the referee to go and have a wee swatch at that pull in the box, because nowadays when you see a short pull in the box, you know, you're just expecting penalty kick.
Lundstrom just flicks that on to Lawrence, who tries to lift it over the top for Sima. Sima might be in here if he can beat Claudio Bravo to the ball, but Bravo might be 40, but he's swiftly off his line there to collect before Sima could get there, and it's 0-0 with 24.5 on the clock. Isco in a deep area for Real Betis, plays it to Petsea, and then out to Luis Enrique on the halfway line, right-hand side, into the feet of Rodriguez. And then it's Marc Roca, his central midfield partner, out to the left-hand side for Abdi. Anticipation rises in the corner of the stadium where the Betis fans are gathered when Abdi gets on the ball, and it's knocked away there by Goldson, out for a throw-in over on the far side. 20 minutes remaining in this first period. Pretty even so far. Rangers with the best opening through Matondo, but otherwise Betis have looked dangerous coming forward. Abdi with their best effort, saved but not entirely convincingly by Butland from a tight angle as the throw-in comes in. Cifuentes away, Lawrence helps it on, up to Roof with a neat turn, and he's... I thought it was fouled there, but the referee just waves him to his feet, and Betis pick up through Isco, but 10 yards inside the Rangers half. Roof just looked to have spun his man there and then be dragged to the ground, but maybe he was looking for it, and Barca has it for Betis. Inside the centre circle, back to Petsea, and now Rodriguez. Shot for Roca out to the left-hand side for Isco, who's just drifting all over the park, picking up possession. Now Abdi, left-hand side, up against Tavernier. Back onto the right foot, clips it in. Barisic gives Davies the shout and clears his lines. And now Sima fires it forward for Roof. He got absolutely no support. He's going to go for it from the halfway line. Well, he scored from there before in Europe, but not this time. It was a much weaker effort and an easy one for Claudio Bravo to take.
See, to score one of those goals in your career, then you're doing well. I mean, he's got every right to take on. He had no support, and he looked up, and Bravo was off his line, but it's very unlikely you're going to pull that off twice.
Do you remember you tried to score from the halfway line when we were down at Palmerston one time?
You know that's not my forte. Stick it in the box, I'll header it.
Well, for the listeners, it didn't work out very well for him. Anyways, goalless here, 26.5 minutes played. Just a throw into Betis.
Just come back to what Tom was mentioned before. Tom Lawrence hasn't really been involved at all in the game. Rangers' threat is out wide with Sima and Matondo. Matondo likes the ball in front of him, other than at his feet. I just wonder whether you would maybe swap the wingers round, Tomo, maybe have a look at giving Matondo a shot out on the right.
I mean, it's worth trying. Sima's really not had any joy out on the right-hand side. And for Rangers, anything that they are doing that's looking as though they're going to cause problems is coming from wide areas, certainly nothing centrally.
Matondo giving the ball away there, and that was a groan you heard collectively from the Ibrox crowd. Here's Bellerin inside the Rangers penalty area, cuts it back for Isco, who's leaning back, thankfully for Rangers, and lifts his shot over the crossbar. Isco, with his quality, you felt that it might bulge there from the edge of the penalty area, but he lifted it too high, and it's still Rangers nil, Real Betis nil.
Yeah, Matondo with the mistake, and then he doesn't get back in goal side of Bellerin. After that, it gets turned very easily. It's a great pick out from Bellerin to the edge of the box. Isco's there, and you're expecting with his quality that he'd be able to hit the target. Leans back and puts it high over Butland's bar.
2-1 Sparta Prague as they've turned that round, as Bellerin gives chase and manages to keep the ball in. Lofts it high in the air, looking for Iglesias. Goldson, though, beats the big Spanish striker in the aerial battle. Lawrence likewise battling away there with Rodriguez, but it's back in Betis possession. It is Rodriguez who picks up another player who won the World Cup with Argentina, albeit he only came on against Mexico in the group stage, but nonetheless he was part of that.
Gets a medal.
Incredible victory as Betis try and play the ball forward. It's wayward that time from Isco, and Rangers will settle for more of that kind of play from him rather than what we've seen from him in the majority of the first period so far, when he's looking to orchestrate things. Such an intelligent player. Rangers have it though. It's Ben Davies allowed to come forward up to the halfway line now, out to the left-hand side. Lawrence has come looking for it, and he drives Rangers forward. It's a good run, but Rodriguez does really well to get back at him. Just times the challenge to perfection and wins it. And now it's Luis Enrique on the counter. Iglesias out to the right-hand side, midway inside the Rangers half. Back in field it goes to Roca. Roca just lifts it across the top for Abdi. Abdi, can he get the shot away? He does, but it's over the top. And again, it's a let-off for Rangers because Abdi was in there. He seemed to take an age to get it under control, and when he eventually did get the shot away, it's over the top. But Rangers with a couple of warnings in the last couple of minutes.
I think it was Roch with the pass over. Tremendous run again there for the threat, Abdi, that we said earlier. He just maybe took his touch
Slightly behind him.
Slightly behind him, and let the ball sit up, so it's a harder one to hit the target with.
It was. The ball over the top was sensational, although I felt as though Tavernier, who was with him when he started to make his movement, should have stayed with him the whole way. He thinks that Goldson's going to win the header, which Goldson doesn't. It goes over his head, and at that point in time, Tavernier's almost out of the game.
That's better from Rangers. Here's Matondo, left-hand side up against Bellerin. Rangers plays it off the full-back, and he'll take the corner. As you said a while earlier, Matondo, Lee, he's looked actually better in terms of confidence so far this season, but this evening he's looked short of it in the crowd, especially with that last pass he made in the middle of the park, gave it away, and you could hear the almost 30,000 odds groaning at him as he gave the ball away, and that's the kind of thing that seems to really affect the Welshman.
I agree. I think early on, the chance early on, if he gets that, he's flying. But he's missed that. He's had a couple of bad passes, bad touches. He's slipped. He's let Bellerin in a couple of times, not matched his runner.
Here's a corner from Tavernier, left-hand side. It's a good ball in, and it's a header from Bartra that takes it behind on the far side, taking absolutely no chances there. And it's another Rangers corner. That was a good delivery from Tavernier. No Rangers player could get on the end of it, though. We played half an hour. Betis, wager, they've been the better side in this opening period, but still level at 0-0 as Rangers prepare to take the corner on the far side. It'll be Borna Barisic, the left full-back, goes all the way out to that far side to swing this one in left-footed. Can Rangers find a breakthrough? It's a near post ball, it's over Sima, it will come to the back post, and Lawrence takes the touch, takes him away from goal. Short ball to Lundstrom, gets it back once more, left-hand side. It's all the way back to Cifuentes now. Cifuentes will try and angle it to the back post. A really poor ball from the Ecuadorian, all the way out for a goal kick. And Cifuentes, if we're looking for him to step up to the plate this evening, we're still looking.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm still trying to work it out myself in terms of I've watched him play about 3 or 4 games now for Rangers from the start, and I'm still trying to work out what it is that he does in the middle of the park. You know, what is it that is his outstanding attribute? Certainly this evening the game's kind of passed him by a wee bit as to chase shadows in and around that central midfield area that Lee picked out was going to be such an important area. They've certainly not had domination of the middle of the park. Tom Lawrence has hardly been involved. Lundstrom and Cifuentes are kind of screening, if you like, but they've still managed to get on the ball an awful lot of times in the last 30, even with those 2 players screening.
Goal kick taken by Bravo, header won by Davies, but then it's returned and it's Isco, picks up, slides it forward for Abdi in a central area, out to the right hand side for Luis Enrique, up against Barisic, onto the left foot, fires it in. Cifuentes gets his head to it and heads it behind. It'll be a Real Betis corner. You get the feeling that the first goal in this game will be ultra crucial because it's on a knife edge right now, and it will be Betis with the corner kick from the right hand side to be taken by the number 22 Isco, former Spanish international, right-footed, near post ball. It's well won by Tavernier. It'll come out to Isco once more, back the way it goes to Roca. Roca closely watched by Roof. He played it off. Roca, it'll be a Rangers throw-in, left-hand side, deep in their own territory. 33 in, Rangers nil, Real Betis nil. Borna Barisic comes over and looks for options down the left, and eventually goes infield to Lundstrom, back to Barisic, who then just knocks it straight out of play, and it will be a Betis throw-in, which is taken by Bellerin back to Petzea inside his own half. Plays it square for Bartra. Real Betis 10th in La Liga in the early stages of the campaign. Here they come through Luis Enrique, right hand side. Looks like he always wants to get onto that right foot, but then he tries to take Barisic on the outside, held up well by the Croatian. Bellerin's in support, ball goes back to him. Matondo goes to try and close him down, back in field to Rodriguez, and he's forced back the way to the halfway line. It's good organisation that time from Rangers, and Betis back in the halfway with Bartra out to the left hand side now. Isco, Tavernier getting close to him. There's Sima quickly closing down Abdi, and Rangers have won it back, but Abner, the left full-back, comes back and wins it for Real Betis, and here they come with Abdi, left-hand side of the penalty area, into the box he goes, can he get the shot away? Oh, it's touched wide, I think, by Butland in the end. Well, the referee points for a goal kick. Maybe the goalkeeper didn't get any sort of touch to that, but that's dangerous again from the left winger as he cuts in from that left-hand side and gets the shot away.
It's brilliant, it's a great effort, but just coming back maybe 30 seconds before, Cifuentes gives the ball away, they go on the counter-attack, and he jogs back in. He jogs back in. He gets played in.
Caught in the ball.
He gets caught in the ball and jogs back in. That's, for me, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, and by the way, that was an unbelievable save from Butland. The Roman goalkeepers, and it's given for a bye kick. I'm quite happy for it to kind of go amiss, but he will be delighted with that save. An absolutely brilliant save. He doesn't touch that, it's gone in the far corner.
Do you think it was? Yeah,
well, it's either hitting the post or it's gone in.
Yeah, I wasn't sure conclusively.
Vital touch from him. Vital touch. But yes, Cifuentes dithering on the ball, getting caught in the ball, and that's how the break came there.
10 minutes to the break. Rangers nil, Real Betis nil, but a few warnings for Rangers to heed as Davies picks up midway inside his own half. He's looking for options and he's frustrated that they're not showing, and eventually he goes to Barisic, he goes back to Butland, and now it's Connor Goldson. Real Betis might feel they've had enough of this first half to have earned the lead, but still 0-0 as Roof stretches and can't get onto Tavernier's pass, and things just not clicking for Rangers again this evening. It's been the story of the start of the campaign for them, really, apart from a couple of showings perhaps in 45 minutes here and there against the likes of Ross County and St Johnstone, but this is different level stuff and it's just not happening for them.
No, it's not. They don't look fluid, and the biggest thing for me is, all right, that, you know, they're keeping a clean sheet just now, probably a wee bit fortuitously, but they're not creating anything. It's Rangers' home game. Going forward, they do not look a threat. Kemar Roof is your striker. I can't remember him having, all right, he has the pass through from Matondo, but out with that, he's not involved high up the pitch. Matondo at times hasn't looked the threat that he can be. On the right hand side, Sima nothing, Lawrence nothing, and the whole team are dropping too deep. It's your home game, you want to go and win it, get off to a good start. I don't think that Rangers are doing enough to put pressure on Betis defensively.
Here's Cifuentes, that's a nice bit of play to clear him away from Roca. Now he finds Lawrence, maybe a little bit heavy with the pass, out to the left hand side he comes. The Welshman back to his countryman Matondo, into the box off the head of Bellerin. Keeper comes and punches to the edge of the area, it comes. Tavernier touches it down to Lundstrom, forced back the way. Barisic offers, out to the left hand side it goes. Matondo's still out here as well. Barisic nudges it to him. Matondo about 20 yards from the byline, back to Lawrence. Lawrence now right footed, low ball, and it's a poor one, easily cleared away by Pitseya. Now Rangers have to go all the way back to Jack Butland, having been in a good position, and that was a good bit of play from Cifuentes initially to find Lawrence eventually, and Rangers threatening at last, but Lawrence almost playing his side into trouble there, gets the break of the ball and it's off Luis Enrique. It'll be a Rangers throw in near side. 7.5 minutes to the break, still goalless.
Good play from Cifuentes there with the forward pass, and then Rangers maybe 45 seconds to a minute of dominance in the game, nothing really coming. Go back to Tomo's point about Rangers being attackingly not really doing much, sitting deep. It'd be interesting to know how many crosses Barisic.
Well, there's a cross from Roof, finds Tavernier back in, cleared away by Bartra and helped on by Abner, and Cifuentes will pick up. Nice bit of skill, takes him away from Abdi and he gets it back from Tavernier. This is better from Rangers. Now it's Sima inside the box, touches it out to Tavernier, first time cross, floors Mark Bartra would come across to close it down. It'll be a throw into Rangers after Bartra has a bit of a breather here. I think he took that in a rather tender area, and he might just need a second or two to right himself.
Just come back to Al. What I'm trying to say is the fullbacks of Rangers are not really getting forward and delivering crosses. No. That's their strength. If you look at both fullbacks, Tavernier and Barisic, their strength is getting the ball out their feet and delivering crosses into the box to make defenders defend, for Roof, who is a goal scorer, to go on the end of it. But Rangers are far too deep in this game. When they get into the final third, the fullbacks can't get there, and you're looking at Matondo maybe standing in a pocket, having to half turn to get a shot away, or Sima to come up with a bit of magic. It's just not worked so far in this half for Rangers.
Bartra still being treated. It's one of those injuries I'm not sure there's a great amount of treatment for, really. No, just time.
Yeah.
He'll be helped off to the side of the park as Rangers prepare to take the throw in. So Betis a man down if Rangers can try and capitalise on that with 5.5 minutes left to play in this opening period. No goals. Rangers have been second best for the most part, but Betis haven't been able to score. Matondo passing up Rangers' really only chance of the game early on. Here's Lundstrom as Barca waits to come back on. Barisic, that's a good looking ball. Roof rises, can't get there. Sima's in there as well, but he can't get enough of a touch on it, and Claudio Bravo gathers inside his 6-yard box. It's as close as Rangers have come for a good stretch of this game, but neither Sima nor Roof can make anything of it, and it remains 0-0.
It's exactly what Lee's talking about. It's the first time you've seen Barisic in a reasonable position, putting a good ball into the box to the centre forward, who just really jumps as high as he can to get on the end of it, but he can't really get any purchase on it. When it drops, I think Sima can do better. Sima swings a leg at it. All right, he's at a bit of a stretch, but he just doesn't make any contact. Slightest wee bit of contact, and that's in the back of the net.
Good bit of defending there from Bahrain, because Barisic was away in behind him if he hadn't got on the end of John Lundstrom's raking pass from midfield. Here's Cifuentes. Better spell this for Rangers, certainly probably their best in the entire game, actually, the last 5 minutes. Here's Cifuentes on the edge of the centre circle. Plays it straight through the middle for Sima. First time ball, Tavernier into the penalty area, and no Rangers player, neither Roof nor Matondo, can get on the end of it, but the Rangers crowd getting behind the team because they much enjoy what they're seeing now as opposed to the last half hour.
I think if you look at Rangers where they've had the success this season, it's when the full-backs have been higher delivering crosses. In the last couple of minutes we've had Barisic there, as Tomo touched on, with Roof with the header, and we've just had Tavernier in the final third open up and fizz a great ball across in between the 6-yard box and the penalty spot. I think this is where Rangers are most dangerous, when the ball's out wide delivering crosses.
It's going to be a goal kick then to Real Betis. 3.5 minutes of the first period left, 0-0. 2-1 last we heard in Prague to Sparta against Aris Limassol, after the Cypriot team had gone in front. Here's Lundstrom sticking the toe in, and Barisic will latch onto the ball in the middle of the park, coming forward. Sima is in support. Good play from Barisic, switches the play to the left-hand side now to Lawrence. Lawrence onto the right foot, can he get the shot away? Back onto the left, right foot again, still going, and he couldn't get the shot in. He had to take it on earlier, and Betis get the challenge in and managed to clear the lines. It was good initial play from Lawrence, but he's got to get the shot away, surely.
He should have hit it. I mean, he does really well cutting inside. He sells the defender the dummy. It's set up perfectly in his right foot for a slew, probably 20 yards out. He goes back for another dummy, and then goes back for another, and in the third one the defender reads it. Should have gotten a shot away.
Yeah, just too many defenders in the way in the end, but Rangers fans enjoying what they're seeing right now. They don't want the half-time whistle to come. It'll come in 2.5 minutes plus injury time as Tavernier swings it in back post. No Rangers takers, and out for a throw-in on this near side, but it's much better, Lee McCullough.
Much better last 4-5 minutes, more dominant. They've been higher territorially, and the possession has been a little bit better. Yes, Tom Lawrence with a great chance. He's got to get his shots away. Surely the players know, but if you get half a chance, especially with the balls being so light nowadays, have a go. Have a go. You just never know what's going to happen. But as Tomo said there, he's sort of dummied the defender 3 or 4 times. He said, just put your foot through the ball and try to hit the target.
Rangers have it. Cifuentes back to Lundstrom. That's a terrible touch from Lundstrom. Gives it straight to Isco. That's the last person you want to give it to. Iglesias now back to Isco, midway through the Rangers half. Out to the left-hand side. Abde linking with Abner. And the Brazilian fullback back the way he goes to Barca. The impetus rather has gone out of that attack just for the moment. But here's Abner left-hand side again, almost at the goal line. Clips it into the box. Butland takes that almost on his goal line. It's a confident catch this time from the Rangers number 1, and he bowls it out underarm to Tavernier. Just about 90 seconds plus added on time left in this opening period. Here's Matondo. That's a better touch from him, up against Bahrain, steps inside away from him, challenged well though by Rodriguez, and although the Rangers fans wanted a free kick, it was a good challenge from the Betis midfielder. In slides Lundstrom, and that's better again from Rangers. Lundstrom with a slice pass, but it will reach Matondo. Matondo now left-hand side. He'll go for goal from distance, but it's way off target. Barisic was in a good position to his left. Roof was ahead of him, and it's a wrong choice, wrong option there from Matondo, and it remains Rangers 0, Real Betis 0.
He just gets far too excited there. He picks the ball up. He's on the angle, good 25 to 30 yards out. Barisic had made a brilliant overlap and run. Nobody had gone with Barisic because Berlin had taken the ball for a run and lost it. on the far side of the pitch. He was wide open. That's what Matondo just misses, that wee bit of awareness. I mean, his threat is his pace, but I don't think his football intelligence is his kind of key attribute. And if he'd open up and just seen the run of Barisic, he'd have been flashing that across the face, and Rangers have bodies in the box.
Tavernier with his head to Roof. It's the flick on. Cleared away by Petsea before Matondo can make anything of it. Cleared away by Bellerin. That looked like a foul by Barisic on Luis Enrique. It's out for a throw and it goes Rangers' way. Looked like a free kick should have gone the other way for my money, as the fourth official Van Dam prepares to hold up the board. Just 2 minutes to play. Connor Golson finds Tavernier dallying on it. He's given it up to Abdi trying to get the better of Tavernier now on the left hand side for Betis. The Rangers captain holds him up. Abdi still has it though. Into the box it comes. Golson with a clearance there from just outside the 6-yard box. Lucky for Tavernier, and then Lawrence links well with Matondo. Matondo's offering on the left hand side once more. Can he use his pace? He's away from two. Infield he comes. Picks out Sima for Roof, just behind Roof. Claims for offside, play continues. Roof has it outside the box. Now it's Matondo in a central area. Just touches it back for Cifuentes. Cifuentes midway inside the Betis half. Right hand side is Sima. Sima into the box. Away by Petsea. Easily cleared and further away by Roca. Golson gets his head to it. And Rangers mount one final attack in this opening period, injury time. It's Lundstrom out to the left. He's got Barisic, goes back in field for Lawrence. Can he get a dig away on goal? Clips it to the back post for Sima instead. Across goal away by Batra for a throw in over on the far side. Well, Abdi's going to keep it in actually, and Betis will come away out of defence as Rangers pass up another opportunity to get a shot away. I thought Lawrence might have tried his luck from distance. Said I felt Bravo was there to be tested, but he hasn't been in this first period. And now it's Luis Enrique at the other end. Gets the pass away to Iglesias, edge of the box. Out to the left hand side now for Abdi. Betis seem to be just killing time almost till half time. Now they inject a bit of pace, and it's Isco left hand side trying to lose Cifuentes. Back the way he goes to Roca, out to the left hand side for Abner. Roca once more. Isco picks up midway inside the Rangers half, flicks it forward for Abdi. Abdi just backing into Tavernier. Is a good challenge from the Rangers skipper, and that will be the last action of a goalless first half, in which Betis dominated the opening half hour despite a really good opening early on for Rabbi Matondo. He was through on goal, very much like the opening he scored against St Johnstone, but on this occasion he hit it straight at Bravo rather tamely just after 4 minutes. From that point onwards, for a good 25 minutes, half an hour, it was all Betis in an attacking sense, as Abdi was denied by Butland, although he should have done better, Jack Butland, on that occasion, almost spilling it into a dangerous area. Isco and Abdi both hit over from good positions, and then Abdi had another shot really well saved by Butland before Rangers came back into it in the last 10 minutes of that second period. Opportunities to get shots away, they weren't taken, and that is why at half-time in the Europa League on Matchday 1 in Group C, it's Rangers 0, Real Betis 0.
Rangers versus Real Betis.
Can he score? Oh,
Rangers in the Europa League, live on Sports Sound. Scotland in the Women's Nations League.
curls it. Oh, it's brilliant.
What a goal. England versus Scotland.
It's a game we absolutely look forward to.
It'll be a fantastic occasion.
And it's a thoroughly deserved goal.
Tomorrow from 7:30.
Weeknight football lives here
On BBC Radio Scotland.
Yeah, lots of action across the week on sports, and we've had 2 European matches for you this evening. Our first commentary kicked off at 5:45. Aberdeen losing by 2-1 away at Eintracht Frankfurt, but a very good performance from Barry Robson's side. We'll hear from the Aberdeen manager in a few minutes' time. Goalless here at half-time at Ibrox. Rangers 0, Real Betis 0. Rangers with 47% possession, 2 shots on target, 3 from Betis, Lee McCullough. It took Rangers a while to grow into this game. After that early chance from Matondo, they really were out of it for a long spells, but they finished the half strongly, so some hope for these Rangers fans this evening.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say it was a slow start. Then Matondo's got, you know, Kenny, it's an unbelievable chance. With the pace he's got, he's getting away for the defender. He's 1v1 with the goalie 4 minutes into the match, and he's side-footed it, sort of slapped it for a very, very easy save for Bravo. I think after that he went missing in the half. I don't think he was what he has been this season. He's looked, after the chance, short of confidence. He's let his runner go bellering a couple of times. He's gave the ball away cheaply. He's been coming to feet to suggest he's not wanting the ball behind him into the space to use his pace. But I think as a team, Rangers started to come into the half maybe in about 40 minutes when they get the full back forward. They were crossing the ball, and Roof was taking up a position in between the sticks. He's got a good spring on him, he's a good finisher. I think they looked more of a threat then, but the Isco and Abdi look a real threat for this Betis team.
Yeah, they certainly do. Just looking at the chances, Stephen Thompson, after that early chance from Matondo, 5 minutes, Abdi with a chance, tight angle, 21 minutes, again Abdi a chance over the bar on 30, and then as you pointed out, it was actually a terrific save from Butland on 35 minutes. Abdi after a really good run. What do you make of this, the shape of this Rangers side? How is Michael Beale trying to play this game?
Well, clearly he knows that Matondo and Sima, that's why he's played them both in wide areas, carry a threat over the top, and you're expecting that you will be under pressure in terms of possession from Real Betis. So that would be an outball for you, it would be an option for you, and it's a good option if the quality of ball's there and the movement's there. It certainly wasn't that chance that Matondo had early doors, but after that we'd have not really been set to do it, and unless you're set to do it, unless you've kind of sprung a full-back from Betis forward and there's space for Matondo to go in, and a lot of the times they've just pumped one, tried to put it over the top of Bellerin, and he's been in position to just win it. So I'm not really seeing a fluid performance, and it got to 40 odd minutes, late 30 minutes, when Lee was talking about the fullbacks of Rangers getting forward, and we've been saying it for how many seasons now. It's Rangers' kind of biggest threat is Tavernier and Barisic's cross balls. You cannot deny how good they are at delivering balls into the box. Roof, apart from that pass early doors, had been a bit of a passenger, but he came to life the last 5 minutes because he was getting involved. He wants to play in the box, he wants balls, deliveries into the box. Any striker in the world does. So the last 5 minutes, then you heard the lift it gave this crowd because they'd gone flat. And rightly so, because this is Rangers' home game against a team who are a good team, but they're not a top European side. And you're expecting Rangers to offer more offensively. So the crowd got a real lift, and it'll give the players a lift getting in there at half-time. And it should give Michael Beale a lift, and they should come out at the start of the second half exactly the way they ended that half, because in the first half they were a bit passive and invited Betis onto them. There was a few mistakes, a bit sloppy, and you couldn't see how Rangers were actually going to be able to get up the pitch and create opportunities, and we saw how they did it, and it was by moving Tavernier and Barisic 20 to 30 yards higher, and just by doing that, Rangers looked a different team.
What do you see, Lee McCullough, in Cifuentes? This is a player that Michael Beale said when he signed could take Rangers to the next level. Are you seeing that at the moment?
No, I'm not. I see in Cifuentes an athlete. I see somebody that covers the ground well, quick, strong, uses his body well in contact. I don't see him. I see him technically, first touch, keeps it simple. Now, to be playing in a Rangers midfield, I think you need more than just keeping it simple. He breaks the play up effectively at times, and other times, like we've seen in the first half, he gave the ball away and just jogged back in. That for me is absolutely unacceptable. I think going forward, he's not really a defence splitter on the ball, but he can switch a play. If that answers your question, which I hope it does.
During commentary, I'm still trying to work out what it is that he does.
Yes.
And it's been kind of difficult for me to understand that, and I do think that, you know, sitting and breaking up the play, yes, he covers ground, yes, but Lee's right, you need more, especially at this level. is he going to go and create a goal with a bit of magic? Is he going to have an effort in goal himself? He's not high enough up the pitch really for that. So you're playing with two sitters almost, Lundstrom and Cifuentes. At home, do you need to have two sitters when it's a game you need to go and win late? You know, would you rather have two midfielders higher up and just have the one sitter who can sit and try and protect the back four? You might see that later in the game, but I mean, it's limited options in terms of the bench. You know, Lammers could maybe come on and do it. Whether they bring Dessers on and drop Roof in back one, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I still don't know, having watched Rangers a lot this season. Normally you can tell a pattern of playing. What do they like to do? What is it that they'll do more often than not to try and break a team down and get a goal? And it was like that for large spells against St Johnstone on Saturday when they were in good areas, but there was no real zip or zest to their play until late on, and St Johnstone were stretched, and then you saw the opportunities being created only because St Johnstone weren't sitting in their back five at that point. So I still kind of struggle to see where their real threat or their real pattern of play in terms of creating and scoring goals is coming from. And I honestly don't feel as though the manager, he's still not found his best permutation. And okay, tonight he's had to shuffle the pack because of injuries, but I still don't think he knows what his best way forward is. When are we going to see that, I think, is the question. You know,
I think that's been the question though, Tomo, for most of the Rangers fans. You've got Ryan Jack, a seasoned professional there with bags the ability in possession. It just, unless he's injured, it makes me wonder, does the manager think Cifuentes is better than Ryan Jack? Because for me, he's absolutely not.
Well, he's bigged him up, hasn't he? He's been a signing. He said he could take Rangers for the next level. Does he feel compelled to play him is the wrong word, but you know what I mean? Is a pressure on the manager to play this guy who he's talked up?
I think there's pressure to get your signings into the side.
Yeah.
Because he's made 9 of them, and you know, as we've all talked about for the last month, you know, the jury's out. At what stage does the jury then say, right, this is the decision? Because, you know, this is when, and to be fair, he's given these players an incredible platform by signing them at this incredible club at this level to go and play. They've got to put their trust, or give him the trust in them to say, look, I can play at this level, I can be your first pick every week, I'll play every week for you. Nobody's really grabbing that shirt. And the biggest kind of thing for me is, you look, Matondo's started 2 massive games in Europe for Rangers this season. When he signed, you know, 4 forward players, she's playing him ahead of players. When in the summer, if Matondo had left the club, nobody would have blinked an eye. So I think he is under pressure to play his signings. Otherwise, you know, the board who are up behind us say, right, well, we've backed you. These are the players you wanted to bring to the club. Why are they not playing? But I'm with Jig. I think Ryan Jack would have been a more sensible option, and I would have played him just as a one sitting in front of the back four and had some slightly higher midfielders to go and ask questions of Real Betis, because Tom Lawrence has not really got on the ball in that position. If you go and stick another player in there, it gives Betis something else to think about.
What's really noticeable from the stands, and it has been in these European games, is some of the players just struggling, I think, for confidence. Sima for one, Dessers, we've seen that, Matondo for stages tonight. So goalless here at half-time in Group C of the Europa League. Rangers 0, Real Betis 0. In the other game, Sparta Prague 2, Aris Limassol 1. We kicked off tonight with Europa Conference League action. Group G, Eintracht Frankfurt 2, Aberdeen 1. Marmouche from the penalty spot for the home side on 11 minutes. A great equaliser from Polvara on 22, but Koch with the winner on 61 minutes. In the other game in the group, HJK Helsinki 2, PAOK 3. Let's end here from the Aberdeen manager, Barry Robson.
Barry, I guess you're obviously disappointed with the result tonight, but you must be very proud of what your players gave you.
Yeah, I think so. I think that when you wear that Aberdeen jersey, when we are in Europe, we need to try and show that mentality, desire, fight, tactical know-how, and I thought they did it all in abundance tonight, because that is a terrific team we faced out there, and they won Europa League not that long ago, and full of top players. So I think credit to them. They worked extremely hard. They stuck to the tactical plan, and I thought the last 10 minutes we maybe could have nicked a draw there.
I would imagine one of the things you were keen to avoid tonight would be conceding an early goal. When you did you fear the worst? And I guess it says a lot about the group that they didn't go under at that point, because in this environment it might have been easy to do that.
I've seen that happening in games when you come and play against top teams, but I trust my players. I think I didn't feel like we would do that. I think they're a good bunch, and it's frustrating when it's a set play and a penalty that's cost you, you know, and things that we worked really hard on, and that was the frustrating part for when you come over here. Listen, if they unlock you with a brilliant bit of play and they stick one in the top corner, or they've got the players to do it and they can roll, put things down inside you, and that set play and was real frustrating on our behalf.
What positives can you take from tonight's performance through the remainder of the European campaign?
I think we take lots of positives. I think from the previous games against Häcken, you've seen the performances we put on, and the performance we did tonight against a terrific team and a terrific coach. And I think we just need to make sure that in Europe you need to be tactically good, and you need to be disciplined, and you need to know, you need to switch on at every set play when the ball goes out the pitch. These top players, when you come to these environments, they unlock you quickly, and we were really sharp at that today. We were really sharp at that tonight, and made sure that we worked a lot on that and spoke a lot about that. So that's it. It's a really good performance. I'm really disappointed we never came away with something, but we need to move on for a big game Sunday.
How much confidence does it give the team that they belong at this level?
I think it's yeah, I think so, and I think when the previous games, and I'm sorry for going back to, but the performances we put in against Häcken, I thought was as good as we've seen Aberdeen play for a long time, and I think that's a different performance. That's a more disciplined performance. That's what you need to do, and it's really hard to press really high and get after a team of that quality. So I thought we got our distances right, we got our press right, and when we got it, we tried to really transition on them quick. And it's hard against the speed of their players, but I'm just frustrated it was a set play.
What can it do for the team's confidence going forward or going into the rest of the group games?
I think it's good. I think we've shown already in our 3 European games that we can compete against top teams who are higher than us in lots of different ways, but we've got the history at our club that you feel every time you go in Europe. Well, I do anyway, and I think the players do, and we've got a great tradition in it, and I'm respectful that I want that tradition to be there and carry on.
You made a big call bringing in Danny Kobara tonight. You must have been delighted with his performance and the way he took his goal. Yeah, I was delighted with Danny. In the Celtic game I was delighted with Danny. In Häcken, I've been delighted with him all season. I think we just signed him on a new contract, and I think you see why when you watch these games closely. And it's just about trying to get the balance right. We try to get the midfield players at the minute, obviously because of the amount of games we've got.
Barry, we've been asking you about the positives you can take from tonight for the rest of the European games. Obviously a huge game this weekend. Do you think that there's positives you can take from tonight and the European campaign as you look to kind of revive the league campaign starting on Sunday?
I think we're 5 games in, and we need to perform better in the league. I think we know that, and I think that's what we're going to do. And we made that plain to the players. Let's start getting up to the levels where we want to be. We don't use excuses. We want to go and start performing at our best ability, and these players will, and I'm really confident of that, and I'm looking forward to watching us on Sunday.
Barry Robson there, Eintracht Frankfurt 2, Aberdeen 1. We're just back underway here in the Europa League at Ibrox. Rangers against Real Betis. Let's rejoin Stephen Thompson, Lee McCulloch and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks again, Kenny. Yeah, Betis have just got an early free kick. Luis Enrique fouled in the middle of the park, so no changes at either side at the interval. Still as you were as the teams kicked off. No goals in the first period, and in fact it's just a drop ball to Real Betis after that stoppage to check that Luis Enrique is okay, and we're back underway. Not missed anything as Betis come forward. Then they're going from left to right in this second half, and Rangers, as Stephen Thompson was saying at the interval there, really need to continue as they left off at the end of that first period. Certainly the best period in the game, as there's a requirement for Abdi to sort his boots here, but it's, on the other side it's Luis Enrique coming forward, right hand side for Betis, up against Barisic, in onto the left foot, gets the shot away, always curling over. Rangers goal kick 90 seconds into the second period. Taverniers down, just clashed with Isco, I think, at the back post as the shot came in, but it's Rangers 0, Real Betis 0.
Yeah, it was decent play from Luis Enrique, cutting in from the right hand side onto his left foot. See what he's trying to put it in the top corner. Jack Butland's right hand side just gets underneath it, no power in the shot either, floats over the bar.
Rangers take the goal kick short. Butland has it back from Goldson, and now it's Davies. Roof back to Lundstrom, who tries to power down that left-hand side. Good bit of energy from him. Matondo looked to be checked there by Bellerin as he burst forward, and that prevented him getting onto the ball, and it looked like that should have been a free kick. The referee allows play to continue. It will be a throw-in on the far side instead. Two Rangers midway inside the Betis half, thrown back to Lundstrom, just helps it forward for Lawrence. Nice first touch, then fouled. Oh, he was being told to get to his feet again, and the referee was right on the spot there, albeit there might have been a foul there in a Betis player subsequently, and he let that go as well. So maybe just being trying to let the game flow, being lenient to both sides, as Sima plays a poor ball back to Tavernier, but he turns it back to his goalkeeper Jack Butland. He'll be closed down by Iglesias, but manages to get the ball cleared up to the halfway line, up towards Roof, tries to bring it under control, breaks back to Cifuentes in the halfway line, looking for options. There's none right, has to come in field, and it's Lundstrom out to the left hand side to Barisic. Barisic forward looking for Lawrence, but that's cut out quite comfortably by Rodriguez, and then back by Bellerin to his goalkeeper Claudio Bravo, who I say wasn't tested at all in that first period, beyond rather tame effort early on from Ravi Matondo. And Rangers have it back at the back with Goldson for Cifuentes. Now Lundstrom on the halfway line. Scored that famous goal out in Dortmund on the way to the final, as well as the winner against Leipzig in the semi here. Massive goal that was from John Lundstrom. Here's Roof in the centre circle, out to the right hand side it comes for Tavernier, midway inside Betis half, back to Cifuentes and turns it back to Goldson on the halfway line, quickly to Davies. Davies closed down and plays it back to Goldson just inside his own half. Clip start looking for Sima. Sima takes it on the right thigh, out to the right hand side it comes, trying to take on Barca. Good early ball in, there's Matondo coming into the back post, it's out for a corner. Bellerin got a crucial challenge in there to deny him a clean shot on goal, and it's still Rangers 0, Betis 0.
Brilliant play there, great ball in here for Sima. Matondo, great movement to get in front of his man. He just needs to get better contact in the ball, just a little bit of lack of concentration for me, other than technical ability there.
Barisic into the middle, but Claudio Bravo takes that inside his 6-yard box and tries to clear quickly. Cifuentes read it though, nods it down for Lundstrom. Now it's Tavernier midway inside the Betis half, curls it to the back post. Far too much in that from Tavernier, poor delivery from him. It's behind for another goal kick. Rangers 0, Real Betis 0.
First bit of quality though, Lee, that we've seen from Sima down the right hand side. Really good turn of pace, quick delivery into the box. Matondo coming from out to in, just gets there in front of Bellerin. The contact couldn't quite get enough on it. In fact, Bellerin probably does just enough to put him off at the back post, but a bright and a good opportunity for Rangers just 5 minutes into this second half.
Goal kick to Real Betis then. Rangers looking to put together a good Europa League campaign after recording the worst ever Champions League record in a group stage last season. An unenviable record, that one. Just a couple of goals scored in the 6 defeats and 22 goals conceded. It was a chastening period that didn't help Giovanni van Bronckhorst in keeping his job. Rangers have the throw-in up to Cifuentes. That's a good ball for Lawrence. Lawrence in a bit of space, driving towards the edge of the penalty area. Takes the shot on, it's not too far wide, but it is wide, and it remains goalless. Rangers 0, Betis 0.
Much better there for Rangers. Tom Lawrence doing actually what he does best, what he's not done in the first half. Pick it up in the pocket, and his back foot turned towards goal, and he's inches wide with a great effort, where in the first half he was trying to chop defenders. He's got it out his feet, and it's a tremendous effort. It's also gave the fans a little bit of a lift as well.
Yeah, just come off the outside of the post, just about a centimetre, shaved the post. Great hit from him. It was never really turning enough in to get on target though.
Rangers playing a lot better at the outset of this second period as they were in the closing stages of that first half. Roof was fouled there, but play allowed to continue with them still in possession. It's Barisic, and both Matondo and Lawrence coming close at the start of this second half. Still no goals though, and you do feel that when chances come Rangers' way, they're going to have to take them, because they haven't tended to be able to keep clean sheets in Europe. At least they've got a good defensive record, the best actually in the league domestically at the moment, as well as Hearts only conceded 2, but in Europe it's been a problem as Lundstrom helps it forward for Sima. He tries to find out to the right hand side for Tavernier. He was just trying to dig the pass out, and it's behind Tavernier, and the momentum goes out of that particular move, and exasperation from the crowd.
It was the harder pass. The run of Kemar Roof, just a 2-yard pass, look for it, taking it into stride, but tries to go out wide to Tavernier. But you can hear the crowd certainly livelier than they were for large periods in that first half. They've got to keep this momentum up, keep this pressure on.
Claudio Bravo from inside his 6-yard box, a wonderful pass out to the right hand side to Bellerin. The Rangers have it back once more, and it's Matondo trying to skip away from his marker. It's Isco getting back there to do the defending and knocks it out of play, and Rangers quickly take the throw, and it's Cifuentes getting it back from Lundstrom and out to Barisic. Matondo back to the Croatian fullback. Barisic comes in field, turns it back to Davies. Now Lundstrom just inside his own half, plays it slightly forward to Goldson, looking for options out to the right hand side. It's Tavernier back with Goldson, just clips that one, looking for Roof onto the chest. Roof, he's taken down now. What's the decision here? Losing a free kick right on the edge of the box, and that will have to be looked at closely to see if that's the correct decision. But the high foot was up in Kemar Roof's chest, and it's a yellow card for Mark Bartra for the challenge. And we'll have a look at the replay. Was it inside or was it outside?
It's certainly tight, but it's clearly outside. He's not seen Roof in his defence, but his foot's high. He's studied him in the chest, and I would suggest this will be Barisic's territory. He's got to have a shot at goals here.
Yeah, it's a definite free kick. There's absolutely no doubt. It's a definite yellow card as well. Dangerous play, high boot. Yeah, I mean, does Tavernier try and reverse it up and over around the wall to the keeper's right, or does Barisic go for it? It's more suited to me for a left footer, this. I don't know about you, Lee, but
yeah, definitely.
You've seen Barisic can score these from anywhere, and actually looking at this angle we've got, it's wide open past that wall for Barisic to just go up and over it on that keeper's right hand side. In fact,
so we're a little more than a yard, even if that outside the penalty area was very close. When the check's over, it was clearly, as the guys are saying, was outside. It does look like Barisic is right of centre. Barisic and Tavernier both over the free kick. Up steps Barisic, curls off the post, off the bar it comes, and over the top in the end. And it will be a corner kick. Bravo looks like he got a glove to that.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. The corner kick's been given.
It's a tremendous effort though. He gets it up. He obviously just doesn't get it down enough, but great technique there. Is so unlucky.
The woodwork denying Borna Barisic the opening goal. Shouldn't have been a corner. Can they take advantage of this stroke of fortune? It's Barisic with the corner, near post, headed away by Bartra. High in the air, Matondo challenges, but he's been penalised.
That's the ref giving a foul because he knows that it wasn't the right decision in the first place.
It wasn't a foul.
Seen it a million times. Seen it a million. It's covering his own back there. Yeah, the goalkeeper, I don't think, did get a touch on it, but yeah, you've seen refs do that before. Normally the ball, just as soon as it's hit in from the corner, he'll blow. Seen some imaginary foul.
Barisic so unlucky not to have opened the scoring there. Just centimetres away. So Lawrence clipping the outside of the post with a shot. Barisic rattling the bar with a free kick, but still Rangers can't find the goal. And it's Rangers 0, Real Betis 0. But it's certainly been
much
better period either side of half-time from the home side. As forward comes Luis Enrique for Real Betis, who will still pose a threat, no doubt about that. He gets it back from Isco once more, the Brazilian winger. Forward it goes to Bellerin. Bellerin up from the back, plays it off Barisic, and it will be a throw into Real Betis down in front of their little band of fans over in the far corner. 300, I think, have made the trip from Andalusia. As Bellerin takes the throw-in on the right-hand side. It's now with Luis Enrique almost at the corner flag, up against Barisic. Tries to sell on the dummy. He's got the better of him momentarily. Barisic gets back, can't get the cross in. Still Luis Enrique trying to twist away. Barisic gets the challenge, and it'll be another throw-in down near the corner flag. We've played 57 minutes, and it's still goalless, and it still looks like the first goal might even decide the game. Just over half an hour to play. It's been very tight, nothing much to choose between the sides, but Rangers in the ascendancy since the break. Here's Isco though for Real Betis. Picks up just outside the penalty and knocks it back to Rodriguez. Forward for Luis Enrique. Looks like he might have come back from an offside position, but play continues. He's away from Matondo. Fires it across goal, but good hands from Jack Butland. Just a yard or two off his line, and it's still Rangers 0, Real Betis 0. 57.5 gone. Cifuentes picks up for the home side, plays it to Barisic. Rangers need to keep the tempo up that they've managed to generate at the start of this second period. Tavernier clips it forward, looks for the run of Roof. Will it bounce over Pizzeria? Roof trying to make life difficult for him, but the big Argentine defender does well. Keeps his eye on the ball and coolly plays it out from the back. And here's Isco trying to release Luis Enrique. Davis though read the danger and just plays that back to his goalkeeper, Jack Butland. And good turn from Lundstrom under pressure there from Isco. Looks like he might be beginning to tire. Don't want to be counting too many chickens with Isco, but just been less influential. Here's Barisic into the box, easily cleared. Matondo with hands in the back and just gives away the free kick inside the Betis penalty there when Rangers could have been keeping the pressure on. And again, it's a little bit naive from Matondo. Rangers 0, Real Betis 0.
Definite better spell for Rangers, probably the best spell in the game just before half-time, and from half-time up to now. One thing I would like to point out, I think Lundstrom has started this second half very well. He's broke the play up, he's got on the ball deeper, trying to make things happen. He's ran with the ball, carrying the ball forward and passing it forward. I think he's been Rangers' best player this half.
Isco in possession with almost an hour played at Ibrox. No goals to report. Remember Aberdeen losing by 2-1 earlier. Sounds like a good performance out in Frankfurt, but nothing to show for it. The 2-1 defeat to the Germans Eintracht Frankfurt. Still 2-1 Sparta Prague against Aris Limassol, the other game in Group C in the Europa League. As Goldson picks up possession from his goalkeeper and plays it square to Davies, and then Lundstrom back in that triangle to Goldson. He'll be closed down by Iglesias. Goldson has to go back to his goalkeeper as Davies was being closed down by Isco. Butland has it at his feet just about on the penalty spot. So there's a player down. Actually, it's Tom Lawrence, and the referee stopped play. And certainly hope this is nothing serious. Tom Lawrence having missed a year of football because of injury.
Yeah, I didn't notice any contact.
Which could be even more worrying.
Yeah. Physios are going on now. Just waiting to see where they go to see where the problem is.
I think the obvious substitute
Calfitis
would be Lammers, and in that 10 sort of position. I think, Lammers probably the natural one that come in, likes to play in the little pockets behind opposition midfield and defence, and getting a half turn and slip passes for Roof or out wide and get in the box. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be Lammers.
Yeah, Lammers is stripped ready to come on. Looks like that will be obviously for Tom Lawrence, and we certainly hope for his sake that it's nothing serious. And for Rangers' sake, also having already lost Todd Cantwell, Nico Raskin and Danilo in recent weeks, to lose another creative player in Tom Lawrence.
Well, it happens often when you're coming back from long-term injury, Alistair. If you play a number of games in a short period of time, your muscles are still getting used to playing 90 minutes of football and playing first team level at a very high level, and you quite often end up getting muscular injuries. It certainly happened to me coming back from some of my longer term injuries.
Was it your calf, Tomo?
Groin always for me.
Oh, was it?
Always for me.
Always calf for me.
Oh, was it?
Always calf.
No wonder you've seen the size of your calves.
Sam Lammer's on then in place of Tom Lawrence. 61.5 minutes played. Tom Lawrence just walking off round the pitch. Doesn't look to be anything.
No, he's probably just felt something in there, Alistair. Hopefully it won't be.
Yeah, knows his body well enough to know not to play on with a little tweak to the calf. And Rangers with the first change of the game. They've got the ball at the back. It's Goulson back to Butland, who plays it out to the other angle of the box to Davies. Back with Butland once more, just looking for Borja Iglesias to come and press him before he plays the pass once more. Iglesias will come out to the left-hand side for Betis to try and close down Goulson, who tries to clip it over Bartra. Again, this time the central defender reads it and heads it clear. And it will be a Betis throw. It came off Roof last as Abner tried to play it forwards. Sixth in La Liga last season. It's their third consecutive top six finish under Manuel Pellegrini, who is looking for his side to try and get the opening here. It's Iglesias inside the penalty. There's a good touch there from Davies to take it behind for a corner after a slack bit of play from John Lundstrom, who, as Lee has said, started the second half well, but that was a poor touch and he almost paid for it.
Yeah, commentator's curse from Jig there. It was a slack touch from him. Isco was onto it in a flash, played the reverse pass to Iglesias, who tried to cut inside. He might be as well taking a touch and getting his shot away. Corner though. Corner
on the right hand side, taken by Isco into the 6-yard box. Good header from Sima, and then Lammers helps it on out to the left-hand side for Betis. It comes, and Abner goes all the way back to Bellerin, the only man inside his own half, barring the goalkeeper. And now it's back with Claudio Bravo, the former Man City and Barcelona keeper. He's always been excellent with the ball at his feet, and he fires a long ball forwards. There's an offside flag up against Iglesias. Play allowed to continue with Roof in possession. He gets the pass off to Lammers. Lammers midway inside the Betis half, out to the left-hand side to Matondo. Angle of the box, tries to get it into the box. Back for Lammers, it goes, deflected wide, and that'll go for a corner, well wide in the end, as Sima just chested it down to Lammers. He was quickly closed down, and it's Rangers corner. 0-0 it stands.
Yeah, Matondo just going for the shot. It deflects to Sima, who lays it off really well to Lammers, but he couldn't get it down quick enough to get the shot off. Eventually falls at him. By the time he goes to hit his shot, he's blocked off. But a corner kick for Rangers, and you can see Michael Beale down below us, whipping the crowd up, trying to get the noise in the stadium up again.
Borna Barisic out to the right-hand side again to take the corner. Matondo's the short option. Barisic preparing the left-footed delivery. And it comes to back post. Goulson will get there. Hits it back for Lammers. Lammers waiting on it. Comes down to him. Gets the shot away. It was a very tame effort. And Betis could be away on the counter here. They've got about 4 on 3 if they can use it quickly. And that was a professional foul from Conor Goulson to prevent the breakaway, but otherwise Betis were 4 on 3 on the counter, and the yellow card goes the way of Conor Goulson.
Yeah, Isco should have just switched it straight away, tries to keep a hold of it, and then Goulson's left no option other than to pull him back just about the halfway line. Definite yellow card, probably a good card to get.
Yeah, it certainly goes down as that, as Isco takes the free kick and wriggles through a couple of challenges. Lammers gets back at him and knocks the ball out of play. Lammers had a couple of opportunities since coming on, hasn't really got a hold of either of them, and he's another player who's yet to entirely convince the Rangers fans, having signed in the summer. He's on for Tom Lawrence here this evening as Rangers break up a Betis attack, but it's picked up again by the Spanish side. Lundstrom though again in the way, and he finds Matondo on the left-hand side. Matondo now trying to use his pace away from Roca. It's good play from Matondo. Still he's going up to the edge of the penalty. Still is Matondo. Great challenge in the end from Bartra. Might just have got the pass away, but it really had opened up for Matondo. Brilliant run from the Welshman, and denied once more.
That's, for me, that's Matondo at his best, picking the ball up, having the ball at his feet and just running. I think he went past three Betis players there, and he's cut inside it. That's where he looks the biggest threat. He's a ball carrier. I wouldn't say he's a really technically gifted player, but he's a definite threat on the counter-attack.
Yeah, unbelievably fast, and on that occasion managed to get past 3 players. It will be a Rangers corner, right-hand side, to be taken by Barisic. What can they make of this one? Curled into the 6-yard box. It was Lammers gets a shot in again, and this time it comes off Bellerin, and it's out for a corner on the far side, and again Lammers frustrated that his shots have been blocked in there.
Yeah, it was a great delivery in from Barisic. I think it's Davies just can't quite get to the header. It breaks off a Betis defender out to Lammers. Is probably 16 yards out, hits it into the ground. It's blocked for another corner, but a great sustained bit of pressure this from Rangers.
66.5 minutes played, no goals at Ibrox between Rangers and Real Betis. Pot 1 and pot 2 in the group. Tavernier to take from the left-hand side, right-footed, curls it in towards the back post. Lammers is there, clanched towards goal. Oh, some save, incredible save, stills a chance. It's in. Sima! Rangers have the breakthrough. Ben Davies taking the acclaim. Looked to me that Sima got the last touch. Who cares? Rangers in the lead. 67 minutes in. Rangers 1, Betis 0.
Yeah, it's been coming in this half. I need to see it back again to see what happens. A bit of a goal mouth Stramash there. There was a couple of players that could have finished it off as it was bouncing about, but it looks like as if it was Davies. He celebrated like it was. It was a great ball in for Tavernier. Lammers started edge, went round the back. Roof had an effort save, and I still don't know who it is.
I think it's Sima. Lammers does ever so well. The save from Roof, point blank from Bravo's unbelievable. Oh no, it is Davies.
I think it's Davies, yeah.
It's Davies. They both, I think probably, they've given it to Sima. Can we see that? Oh, it's too hard to tell. Sima's been given it.
Might get it from this angle here.
That's the one.
Let's have a look at this angle that we're seeing back on our monitors here. It comes off Roof from Goldson. It falls kindly, and we still can't really tell. I'm going to go with my initial instinct. Sima. Ben Davies is absolutely loving it. There is a check. Yeah. There is a check, of course, as there always is. I was questioning whether Roof was possibly offside when he got the shot away.
Oh, I thought initially. It was handball, Al.
Well, there might have been a potential handball. I don't
see it. I see the goal standing.
Didn't seem to come off Roof's.
What about a save from Bravo from Roof?
The save is unbelievable. There we go.
Well, the roar tells you the goal stands. It doesn't matter who got the final touch. Rangers have the advantage. I'm going to stick with Sima. Might well have been Ben Davies. Either way, Rangers' pressure at the start of this second half has eventually paid off. It's Rangers 1, Betis 0.
And they deserve it, Alistair. They really do. The start to this second half from them has been really, really impressive. They've put Betis under a lot of pressure, played much higher up the pitch. And after that sustained period of corners and shots, all started with a Matondo run, of course. They've got the lead. Can they hold on to it? This will be a huge start to them in this group.
Ben Davies plays it forward. There's a look of real elation on his face, because that would have been his first Rangers goal if it goes his way. Abdallah Sima hoping to claim his third, but regardless, the main thing is that Rangers have the advantage and Real Betis now have to come from behind, and they've drifted out of it after a good opening half hour, and they're going to make a change here, and it's going to be Rodri who's going to come on for a double, maybe even triple change, as Manuel Pellegrini decides he needs to try and turn the tide here, with the Rangers crowd getting right behind their side. Haven't seen them go in front as Iglesias clips it on. Tavernier there just pokes it forward. Roca steps in, Lundstrom in there as well. Iglesias just lashes it forward, and that'll go all the way through to Jack Butland. And Rangers have 20 minutes to ensure that Group C begins with a victory. If you remember, they got to the final having lost their first couple of games in the group. That was against Lyon and Sparta Prague, beaten here 2-0 by Lyon in the opening game 2 years ago, then losing out in Prague if they can get off to a flyer here by beating Betis, it'll be an incredible start for them as Roof challenges at the edge of the penalty area. There's a shove there by Lammers. It was an obvious one, and it's penalised, and it'll be a free kick to Betis, and that will allow them to make the triple change. And it's going to be Jose Perez, Willian Jose, and Rodri, as I mentioned earlier, who are going to come on. Off, first of all, will come Luis Enrique, who hasn't perhaps made the impact he would have hoped. Borja Iglesias also,
I have to say,
Iglesias. And Abde, who, again, as he drifted out the game, as Isco did as well, Betis in turn have drifted.
Yeah, I would agree that. Iglesias' performance for me has been absolutely rank. I was watching him closely as a number 9, and really he's offered absolutely nothing to the game. Big guy, didn't carry any physical threat. Touch not there, didn't work hard. I'm not surprised to see him get off.
He came on in that 2-0 defeat by Spain, for Spain by Scotland, but he has an international clash tonight as Rangers win themselves another corner. He hasn't started the season well. He's replaced up front by Willian Jose. One of 3 changes. Rangers looking to add to their tally and perhaps put this game beyond Betis, who have been on the back foot all second half. And the corner will be taken right hand side by Borna Barisic as Rangers look for a second goal. Barisic with Matondo close by him if he chooses the short option, but it will go into the box. It's another deep one. Golston attacks it. Lundstrom couldn't make anything of it at the post and is behind for a goal kick. And with 72.5 minutes played at Ibrox, it's Rangers 1, Real Betis 0.
It's the importance of set plays as well. That's a great delivery for Barisic there. And that man, Connor Goldson, who likes to get his head in the end of first contacts, causes a little bit of chaos there, and just Lundstrom just unlucky at the back post.
Here's Bartra at the back for Real Betis, midway inside his own half, plays it short to Roca, back to Bartra, edge of his own box, pokes it back to Claudio Bravo. That was a phenomenal save, you have to say. You mentioned it, Tomo, from Kemar Roof's original effort. How he kept that out, the instincts of a 40-year-old, highly impressive. Rangers have won it back. Tavernier takes it back off Sima, slides it through, looking for Roof. Bartra just manages to intercept, and Betis work it clear. Otherwise, Roof might have been in for a second goal there. Here's Isco, still trying to make things happen, but Rangers seem to have got the measure of him after half an hour or so, but he's still looking dangerous. Here's Jose Perez, signed on a free from Leicester City in the summer. Abder gets it back to Isco, and now it's Roca, midway inside the Rangers half. Rangers trying to stay organised in a deep position right now. Isco plays it back to Jose Perez, faced up by Cifuentes, who now tries to close down Roca. Roca's got it back though from Abner, and then plays it in towards the back post. Looks like there's too much on that though from Roca. It was a good move initially, but it comes to nothing. And on 74 minutes, it's Rangers 1, Betis 0.
Better play from Real Betis, a wee bit of impetus from their substitutes coming on. Good link-up play down this left-hand side. The delivery in was really, really poor in the end. Another replay of this goal though. Can we work this out yet? Do you know what? It needs to go to both of them.
Is it 2-0 then?
Is that ever been done? Yeah, it's very, very difficult to tell regardless of the angle. Rangers though need to take care of the ball. They've given it away, and it's Willian Jose outside the penalty area. They need to cut out the slackness, Rangers. On the right hand side, Rodri sends it back post. Oh, good glove by Butland to turn it over. That might have found its way to Isco at the back post. Butland concedes the corner.
I just think Rangers have sat back in a little bit deeper. The subs have made an impact, just like Tom was saying there, but the Rangers have got to stay front foot. Just everything that's brought them the success from half-time, but they've just started to just creep back a little bit, protect the goals.
Corner kick from the right-hand side. Curled in, glance towards goal. It's just wide. So close from Bartra. The glancing header. I thought it might have been a touch at the back post. There was a man at the back post waiting to tap it in, but it goes wide, and Rangers with a big escape there.
Yeah, it's a great leap from Bartra, getting up ahead of Roof. It's only a foot past the post, but at the back post, you're right, inches away from getting a touch on it. If that's not a warning for Rangers, nothing is. And Lee's right, they've got to not sit in and try and defend for the last 15, it'll end up in 20 minutes when the away games last out. They've got to try and get up the pitch, and that's exactly what they're doing now.
Yeah, Butland waving everyone forward as he launches this goal kick over the halfway line. Rangers 1, Real Betis 0 with 76 minutes played. Here's Cifuentes midway inside the Betis half, out to the right hand side to Sima, the goal scorer. Tavernier now on the goal line, flashes into the 6-yard box, but Claudio Bravo collects that one pretty comfortably and then just rolls it out to Rodriguez, who helps it on to Bellerin, who's coming forward. Left hand side is Isco, if he can latch onto this on the angle. Out comes Connor Goldson to face him up. Isco, left foot then right foot. Which way is he going to go? He goes back the way, back into the middle from Roca, cleared away by Barisic. Sima can't do anything with it. Referee's getting in everyone's way. Betis have found a way through. It's Roca, and then a good challenge from Ben Davies to clear the lines. But Betis knocking on the door here, looking for an equaliser. Throw-in quickly taken by Isco, gets it back from Abner. Plays a short ball into Roca, who's become more influential in the last couple of minutes. Jose Perez through the legs of Goldson, who recovers to knock it behind, and Rangers just rocking slightly.
Yeah, they are, Alistair, there's no doubt about that. It's a lot better from Real Betis. Makes you wonder where they've been for the last 35 minutes in this half, but the substitutes have made an impact. They're starting to really push Rangers to get back into the game.
Isco with the corner from the left-hand side. The short options there, Rangers only putting one man out to cover it, although Isco's walked away from it. He's going to leave this one to Rodri. There's a bit of shenanigans in the penalty area the referee wants to take care of before the corner kick can be taken. Barisic among those being spoken to, Prinsea as well, as Rangers look to defend their 1-goal advantage with 12.5 minutes of the 90 to play. Rodri's corner comes in, Roof gets the header half clear, Bartra tries to keep it alive, Lammers though picks up, can he spin away? He can, looking to find Matondo, but it's just ahead of him, and Abner steps in. Matondo working back though, and he wins the free kick. That's good play from Matondo, got himself in between man and ball, buys a free kick, and Rangers will get up the park and ease the pressure somewhat that's come on them in the last few minutes.
Yeah, I think they'll be happy there with Matondo. Just again using his strength and pace, buying a foul, relieving the pressure on the defence.
Here's Lammers, right-hand side of the penalty area, as Rangers look for a second goal to really put distance between themselves and their opponents, and Lammers has won his side. A free kick, it's Bartra again, who's in a yellow card, just needs to be careful. It wasn't a yellow card offence, but just nonetheless we'll need to be careful not to attract further attention from the referee. Clumsy challenge on Lammers, and Rangers with the free kick a few yards in from the right touch line, about 15 yards, almost 18 yards away from the goal line. Barisic and Tavernier over it as always.
The delivery from the pair of them in this second half has been excellent from set plays. It looks like it's going to be an in-swinger from Barisic, and you always fancy Rangers in these situations.
I noticed that UEFA have given a goal to Sima incidentally, but here's Barisic, sends a free kick very, very deep. Lundstrom will keep it in, but he's going to only head it behind. There's too much on it really from Barisic. Ryan Jack's going to come on for Rangers for the closing 11 minutes plus stoppage time. Let's see the fourth officials board as the goal kick is taken before Jack can be introduced. And it's down the left-hand side. Now Jose Perez has got the better of Tavernier and Cifuentes, moving away from the pair of them. Away from Lundstrom as well. Still a Jose Perez. Will he go for goal? He slides out to the right-hand side for Rodri instead. Rodri takes the shot. Great save from Butland down low to his left. Might just have been sneaking in at the near post there, and Butland got a really strong left hand to that to knock it away. What a run by Jose Perez. Rodri's shot saved by Butland. 1-0.
Perez looking a real threat there. Playing as if he's playing the playground. He's cut inside for the wider area.
Two nutmegs.
Nutmeg two Rangers players. Ended up slip pass out wide, cut inside. It's a great save for Butland at his near post.
That is, and I'll tell you why, because he palms it away from danger. He could easily have palmed that into the Betis players that were on rushing. Cifuentes, it is out.
It is indeed like for like change really in that screening midfield role that guys have been talking about. Ryan Jack coming on for Jose Cifuentes, and well, he's just the kind of man you want on when you need to keep the ball, you need to keep things tight, and you need composure in the heart of your midfield.
Yeah, I think Ryan's got bundles of composure, handles the ball very well technically. Although he doesn't really open up defences with his passing, he's like a possession football player, and that's exactly what Rangers need just now.
There's a free kick over on the far side to Rangers with just under 10 minutes to play. Roof has managed to get his side a free kick.
The one thing Roof has done tonight is work incredibly hard as the kind of lone striker up there. He's made a nuisance of himself when balls have been up to him. He's got his body in front of defenders. He's not made the defending easy for Real Betis tonight.
He's had his shirt ripped there in that challenge by Herman Petsea, the Betis captain, who's found his way into the referee's notebook for his trouble. Free kick to Rangers, about 15-20 yards inside the Betis half, left-hand side, to be taken by Barisic. 9 to play. Rangers lead by a goal to nil here at Ibrox in their first Europa League match of the campaign. Second goal now would surely take the game beyond the Spaniards as Barisic sends it into the penalty area. Sima's up there, so too Lundstrom. I thought he could have made more of that actually. If you get anything of it, it wasn't enough to force it goalwards. It's behind for a goal kick. Rangers 1, Betis 0.
I think it was a bit of floaty delivery there. If Lundstrom gambles, he's in there, get a bit of contact, he's basically got a free header at goal. If he gambles there, but 10 or so minutes to go. Rangers still at times looking a threat, but just need to be solid at the back with concentration as well.
And they've played it all the way back from Connor Goldson to Jack Butland, who produced that terrific save a few moments ago to deny Rodri at his near post, down low. And he made that other terrific save from Abdi in the first period. We saw a number of replays at half-time. Still not entirely clear whether it might have headed into the back of the net, but for the Butland touch, but nonetheless it was an important one as Betis come forward, and it's Jose Perez, who has looked bright since he's come on, but a good challenge there from Tavernier, plays it off Perez, and will be a Rangers throw-in. He played at Betis on loan the second half of last season and made the move permanent, and like a lot of the players they brought in because of their financial constraints, they've come in on free transfers, but they've done some good business with the likes of Jose Perez and Isco on frees, and both of them look good acquisitions. But Rangers leading Betis by a goal to nil as the ball comes down the Betis left. Lammersdorf steps in, Jack's there to help it back to Goldson, who plays it down the right hand side looking for Roof, but Roof won't keep that in. It's out for a throw-in to Betis midway inside their own half. 7 minutes of the 90 left to play. Abdallah Sima's close range goal separates the sides for the moment and looks like it might be the one that gives Rangers a winning start to the group, but no one in Rangers shirts or colours will be counting their chickens just yet, as Goldson comes under pressure there from Isco, but just plays the ball out for a throw-in to the visitors on the left-hand side to be taken by the Brazilian left-back Abner into the feet of Isco, who started the game brilliantly. Rangers have managed to thwart him after the first half hour or so, but they won't be leaving him unmarked hopefully in the last few minutes of the game, because he's still a threat. Here come Betis down the right hand side. Bellerin up against Lundstrom, who just pokes the ball out of play, and it'll be a Betis throw-in down near the corner flag on the right hand side as they press for an equaliser. They said they were coming here to try and win the game, not settling for a draw. They might settle for a point now as Isco finds Abner 30 yards from goal, out to the left hand side for Perez. Perez up against Tavernier. He's taken out of play by the fullback, but play continues. Abner inside the box. Oh, it's a poor ball across. A better ball might have found Williams Jose, but Abner couldn't find the precision required, and Rangers get off with one again.
Yeah, they do, and it's pretty weak from Sima in terms of defensively when he comes out to Abner. He's really got to flash that further away from Jack Butland. It goes right into Jack Butland's arms. He's more than happy to take it and take his time with this, bowling it out to Goldson. That was a decent opportunity for Betis.
Jack Butland, I think in most people's books will go down as the most successful of Rangers' summer signings thus far.
Yep.
And he's managed to keep a clean sheet again tonight with just 5 minutes of the 90 left to play. Rangers 1, Real Betis 0, but it's Betis who are looking the more dangerous side just at the moment as they press for an equaliser, and it's a Jose Perez. This time he's challenged well by Tavernier. It breaks back the way of Betis, and now Isco picks up midway inside the Rangers half, past a couple of challenges, finds Roca left hand side of the box. His ball into the areas, well defended initially by Jack and then by Tavernier, and then Roof felt he was fouled there by Rodriguez, but the referee saw nothing wrong, and Betis will come again. Left hand side, it's Jose Perez. Closed down by Roof, who's put in a power of work up front, and also doing some defensive duties as Barca works out to the right-hand side for Rodri. One of the substitutes has made a difference. Denied a few moments ago by Butland. Roca plays it back to Isco towards the back post. Jose Perez across the box, he'll come. Barisic just gets a slightest touch on it, heads it away, but only as far as Rodri out on that right-hand side. He slips there and Lammers can come away. It's a free kick actually. The referee deciding Lammers clipped him, and it'll be a free kick to Betis. He took a while to decide that. I think he might have got a bit of advice from his assistant over in the far side, and Betis will have a free kick. I think it's a right decision on the angle of on the box on the right-hand side.
I think he catches his standing foot slightly. So yes, definite foul there. Betis just switching the play from left to right, getting in wide areas. I think Sima switched off a couple of times for me. Matondo switched off a couple of times. They should be getting back in and helping the full-backs out. Cross balls. Rangers have defended the box very well, but I think they look vulnerable for wide areas.
Yeah, they could be vulnerable again here. 3.5 minutes to play. The free kick from the right-hand side from Isco. Butland's missed there, side netting only though. Butland completely missed that, but it's Jose Perez, I think it was, coming in at the back post. Couldn't get enough on it, and it's into the side netting only. Another let off for Rangers in the closing stages as Betis make another change, and it's going to be a debut for the 18-year-old Hassani Diao, who will come on for the closing few minutes, and Rangers going to make a couple of changes of their own. But that was another big scare for Rangers.
It was, and Butland's a lucky man. He comes for it, tries to punch it, gets nowhere near it, and at the back post Perez was there. It was a tight angle, but he really should be getting that on target. Hits the side netting.
It's Isco that's been replaced by Hassani Diao for these closing few minutes, and on also will come Cyril Dessers and Dujon Sterling. Not yet though, as the ball goes out of play once more, and the fourth official's poised and ready to allow Rangers to introduce, and it's going to be, by the looks of it, a 5 at the back as one of Michael Beale's assistants is signalling for the closing few minutes. Conor Goldson just getting the instructions there, and it's Kemar Roof who'll be replaced by Dujon Sterling as Rangers look to close up shop in these final moments here. A couple of minutes of the 90 left to play, plus you would imagine a good 5 minutes or so of injury time. Abdallah Sima, the goal scorer, also being replaced by Cyril Dessers as Rangers look to see this one out. 1-0 they lead.
Roof has been tremendous.
Yeah, the great, especially second half, Jig.
Yeah, it's a hard position to play, as you know, Tom. When you're up there yourself, you get no thanks for it. You get battered about with 2 centre halves usually, but I think he's been sensational tonight.
Rangers have it deep in Betis territory, which is exactly where they want it, although Betis try and hammer it up the park. Goldson's there, Dujon Sterling, who's just gone to that right centre back role, plays it forward for Dessers. Dessers will be asked to just hold the ball up. Now he finds Lammers. Lammers tries to slip it back through to him, then Lammers goes right through the back of Barca. That was an untidy and rather crude challenge, and he'll be lucky if he doesn't get booked for that. I don't think he's going to escape any further attention there from the referee, Lammers. Free kick wasn't there though. It has to go back to the edge of the penalty area. A minute to play of the 90. Rangers 1, Betis 0. Can they hold on? Lee McCullough.
Yeah, well, they've made the changes. They've got a bit of freshness up front to try and help them get out.
Here's Gialdo coming forward, the debutant substitute for Jose Perez, who passed him a big chance a minute ago. Abder though can't get past Dujon Sterling, and Jack plays it forward looking for Dessers. Dessers can't hold on to it, needs to hold it up better. Roca plays it back to Pizzella, and now it's Bartra. Bartra just looks to touch it off there for Jose Perez, breaks the way of Sterling, and he just hammers it forward, and everyone's eyes on the fourth official with seconds remaining of the 90. The fourth official standing alongside Manuel Pellegrini, and he lifts his board aloft, and it is 5 minutes to be played as Matondo slides in on the far side and knocks it out of play. 5 minutes for Rangers to hold on to this 1-goal advantage.
Have you seen less than 5 these days? Five's like the lower limit you get. But yeah, I mean, although Betis have come more into the game and Rangers have dropped slightly deeper these last, say, 10-15 minutes, apart from that Butland cross, there's not been too many scares. There's not been too much for Rangers to do defensively. They still look reasonably comfortable.
Lundstrom though, caught in possession. Here's Rodri at the edge of the penalty area, looking to work it onto the left foot. He does. Butland saves well again, diving to his left. But Lundstrom's got to be more careful there with his back to the play, turning into trouble and coughing up another chance for Betis.
Yeah, I don't think Ryan Jack's really helped him that much, but Lundstrom should do better there. He should have more awareness. And it led to a great shot at goal and another great save from that man Butland again.
There'll be another corner once the referee is happy with the way things are set up inside the penalty area. It's a corner kick from the right-hand side for Real Betis, looking to earn a point here at Ibrox to take away back to Seville this Thursday evening. Sent in from the right-hand side, headed away by Sterling, picked up by Rodri, who's looked another promising player since coming on. Now it's Abner out to the left-hand side for Diao, up against Jack, left-hand side, looking to dance away from the Rangers midfielder. Good tenacity there from Jack, and he's won his side. A free kick. Diao can't believe it, but Jack picks himself up. Rangers will have the free kick, and they won't be making a rush of this one.
Jack doing really well, just exactly what he was brought on for, to stop play in its tracks ever since he's come onto the pitch. I know it's not been long, but he's had 3 or 4 of these interventions. So important to have a player like that in one-on-one situations, not being beaten, doubling up with full-backs, protecting balls into strikers' feet. Really good.
We've played a couple of minutes of the 5 to be added on. 3 to play as Jack Butland prepares to take the free kick. He's produced a few very, very good saves again, Jack Butland. A couple of uncertain moments from the keeper as well, but he has got away with them as Rangers come down the right-hand side. Ayoze wanted a free kick there, it wasn't forthcoming, and Tavernier has it at the corner flag, and that's exactly where Rangers want it, and it's out of play, and it'll be a Rangers throw-in right at the corner flag. They're ticking down the seconds.
Yeah, a little bit of game management now is needed. This is where your Goldsons, your Taverniers, your leaders, your Lundstroms, your leaders on the pitch, keep the ball in the corner, just win the game, get the points.
Well, a big 3 points. This could be Sparta Prague. Last we heard was still 2-1 at home to Aris Limassol. Rangers go to Limassol in their next Europa League match. Some big domestic games before that, not least Motherwell here at the weekend, as Davies has a bit of defending to do up there against Diao. Who has that come off last? It will be a Betis throw-in midway inside the Rangers half, quickly taken by Jose Perez. They've got under 2 minutes to try and find an equaliser. They need to get it forward. It's Rodri, dances away from Jack, who overcommitted. Rodri finds a Jose Perez, edge of the penalty area, pass for Diao. Diao with a sliced effort well wide, and a relief, a roar of relief from the Rangers fans goes up. Very few fans have left the stadium as they look to urge their side on to the 3 points at the outset of this Europa League Group C. Rangers 1, Betis 0 with just over a minute of injury time to play.
That was an alright chance as well there for Real Betis. 18 yards out, he had a wee slide rule past his right hand side. It would definitely allowed the player to get the shot off. He takes it on himself, slices it wildly. Just get this long, win the first header, keep it in the corner.
Jack Butland then to take the goal kick. We're inside the final minute of stoppage time. There might be a few seconds beyond that to play as well, as Lammers gets his head to the ball, but Betis force it forward to the halfway line. Goldson returns it, high in the air it goes. Abner plays it forward to Jose Perez. Good challenge from Jack. Tavernier's in there as well, knocks it off Rodri, and it will be a Rangers throw-in more or less on the halfway line. As the seconds tick down, the Rangers fans feel like the 3 points are in the bag. The players have just a bit more work to do as Sterling prepares to take the throw-in on this near side. The Rangers right, down the flank it goes. Lammers flicks on, Dessers will chase. Barca has possession though, at the edge of his own box. Fouled by Dessers. Betis free kick at the edge of their own penalty area. They need to get everyone forward. Bravo. To the edge of his box he comes to take this free kick, stolen a few yards as we go beyond the 5 minutes of stoppage time. The referee looks and blows the full-time whistle, and Rangers have the victory on the opening day of Europa League Group C. It was hard fought, that's for sure, but Abdallah Sima with a crucial touch and a goal-mouth scramble after 68 minutes is the match winner this evening. A game that ebbed and flowed with Betis bossing the opening half hour or so. They couldn't find the goal. Rangers came into it either side of half-time, and their second half pressure eventually told when, despite a brilliant save from Claudio Bravo to deny Kemar Roof from close range, there was Sima there just ahead of Ben Davies to knock the ball into the empty net and get the crucial goal. Betis looked for the equaliser, and Butland had to make a couple of very good saves to deny Rodri, and also survive a couple of scares as the ball was knocked into the side net by Jose Perez. Barisic also hit the bar for Rangers, and Lawrence clipped the outside of the post prior to them going ahead. One way or the other, one goal looked like it was always going to decide it. Unfortunately for Rangers, it went their way. It's a huge 3 points against the second seeds in the group. Real Betis might feel hard done by as they go to applaud their travelling band of fans. Rangers players also saluting their fans who stayed to the end to watch a famous victory. It finished at Ibrox. Rangers 1, Real Betis 0.
Rangers